Hey everybody, it's Laurie from Cook Script Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing with you my layout share. These are all the layouts that I made in the month of April. It's hard to believe that April went by as quickly as it did, and I made a huge stack of layouts. That was probably helped by the fact that there were a couple challenges. I know the White with One, which I'm on the design team, we had a challenge weekend going on. The Scrapbook or Bash Your Stash or Scrapbook, there was a Scrapbook Generation on Facebook was also doing some challenges, and then Paper Issues was doing a 30 days of sketches. So that's actually still going on. And the 30 days of sketches was definitely what really prompted me to create more, because every single day I was participating and creating a layout based off one of the sketches. So not going to start off showing you those just yet. The first layouts that I made, you've actually seen this one already on the blog, and I did a process video for that, but I just did some school photos from last year, and this was actually the year before, using the Authentique Scholastic collection. So just trying to get some old photos done up. I just really love, I think I did kind of the same kind of layout style, but you can see it's two different things, but kind of the same. So just trying to get some old photos done up there. This was also for a challenge, and for the life of me, I can't remember. I can't remember where the challenge was, but I think you had to do something with butterflies. And so I had the butterfly chipboard. Her face was a butterfly. I had this little butterfly border strip here that I just used and put behind. So I like the way that one turned out. This was also for a challenge, which might have been a Paper Issues challenge from earlier in the month. And it was kind of a sketch challenge. It was a scrap lift challenge. So this was my take on the challenge. And I don't know if I'm going to post about this on the blog or not. We'll kind of see how much time I have. I've got a lot of content coming up. But I basically just used a bunch of frames and some scraps to create this layout. I really love that one. This is just kind of a random one that I did using a bunch of pink fresh scraps. I loved this word paper, and then I just sort of added some other bits and pieces behind the photo, and then added some embellishments from Pink Fresh, Cheeky Studio. This was a crepe paper. I love that. And it's just a fun, it was a quick little layout to get together. Just a photo of me wearing my Born and Raised St. Louis made t-shirt from Arch Apparel. STL, you definitely should check that out. This was also another one. This could have been the one for the challenge. I don't remember because it's another butterfly one. But again, I made a grid of the photos, have the butterfly paper in the back, used some Pink Fresh product here as well, and I did a little bit of mixed media on the chipboard butterflies that I had there in my stash. So great stash buster there. This is the page that I made for the White with One challenge weekend that we had. I challenged everyone to use white in your favorite color. Pink is actually not my favorite color, but I just happen to have a lot of pink. So I just did a bunch of strips going across this way, did some splattering, added some flowers, just to commemorate the time that I got to see Beautiful on Broadway. So thanks to everyone who participated in that challenge. I made this one kind of like a random one as well, just challenging myself to use some more some circles, so the circle die cut machine that I have, and just using strips of paper. I created a little banner with the stickers, and these are just photos last year from my daughter on her birthday. This is one of the Paper Issues ones. So I'm not really going to go into too much detail about the Paper Issues challenge ones, the 30 days of sketches, but just so you can see, I'll just kind of go through them quickly. This was one of the first ones that we had to do using, I think it was 2 photos, but I ended up using 3. So they're just a great way to kind of put yourself outside of your box. This one, I used circle punches and I broke out some twine, these things that I don't normally use, some misting spray. I mean, I usually use misting spray. That's not hard for me to break out, but stamps, I had stamps on some of the layouts as well. And things from my stash. So it's been really great. This was not one of the Paper Issues. I just did this one myself. This is definitely a scrap lift from someone, maybe Christina from Redefined Creative. I'm not totally sure, but anyway, I loved mixing some old crepe paper with newer Echo Park. Back to the Paper Issue stuff. So this is really, really old paper from my stash, and I'm really excited that I got to use it. I happen to have the right photos for it. But yeah, the sketch definitely helped me out a little bit. So as I was saying, it just kind of breaks you out of your mold. using products that I haven't used in a really long time. Ribbon, like I put ribbon in this little pre-made homemade kit that I did, and I got to use it. So yeah, this one used a lot of old Chicky Studio flowers and stuff like that. So if you're not following along with the 30 Days of Sketches over at Paper Issues, I'll go back to this one in a second. Hold on. It's on their Facebook page, and you can play along. I'm assuming that it's going to go once it's finished. I don't know how long you have to get everything together. Here's an example of the stamps that I did and some punches. This was a scrapbook.com stamp. So I just, because it was a paint night, we made the paint. I thought handmade was kind of perfect for that. Here's an example of more of like the misting spray. Usually I do misting sprays on just white backgrounds, but this one I just decided to do it on a pattern background because it did have a lot of white space on it. So I really like the way that one turned out. One thing I will say is that when you run out of scrapbook adhesive, like the good stuff, and you use the poopy stuff that you bought at the Dollar Tree, it makes scrapbooking really hard. So make sure, especially during a quarantine, that you have a huge big stash of a huge big stash of adhesive ready to go. This one I actually turned into a 2-pager, but I have no idea what happened to the second page. But I flipped it and did a 2-page thing there. So I'm gonna have to set that aside so I don't forget where that one is. This was for the White with One challenge weekend. This was the 3rd challenge that we put forth. So someone kind of took us through a tutorial of how to create this, and I love the way it looks. Again, getting me to use stuff from my stash that I probably wouldn't. We gessoed along the edges, did a lot of stamping. I'm so grateful for that challenge and to be part of that design team right now. Here's another Paper Issues one. You can see I'm using up a lot of some of the same kind of manufacturers. Crepe paper, because I have a lot of crepe paper. I still had some Pink Fresh stuff going on. This is actually kind of a combination. Actually, I think this is all a Recollections paper pad, just mixed in with some stuff from my stash. Like these stickers are from the crepe paper summer collection. But yeah, that's the Recollections paper pad. Using up big floral pieces from my stash, not something that I do very often, which is why it was still in my stash, but I love the way this one came out. And using triangles. Thank you, Paper Issues, for getting me to use triangles more on my layouts. This was actually for a different challenge. I can't remember. It was a challenge group on Facebook. But I've been seeing a lot of the grid stuff lately. A lot of people are challenging us to use grids. And as you can see over here, this is a grid challenge from the White with One challenge weekend that we did. This was the 2nd challenge, and you had to use white and blue and create a grid. And I love the way this one came out. It's always so amazing how many things when you're going through your stash, you're like, oh, I actually have the right color for that. Or I have just the right embellishment for that. So this has been a really, my stash is depleting. My husband is kind of like, oh, you want to make another scrapbook.com order? But yes, because this is what I'm doing to keep myself busy during a quarantine. So anyway, how much have you guys been scrapbooking lately? I don't know if you have a lot of time. Like I was actually furloughed from work for quite some time, so I didn't have to be working from home, so I just scrapbooked. Now I am back to work, so it is kind of difficult to find some of that extra time to scrapbook during the day. Even at nighttime after you put my kid to bed, it's like you only have so much time to devote to scrapbooking. So I'm hoping that I can kind of work it more into the schedule a little bit, or at least if all I'm doing is the 30 days of sketches, I know I'm going to get one layout done a day. And that's, that's good. So I've got some pictures coming from Shutterfly. I'm going to place another scrapbook.com order, and I am going to be set for another month of scrapbooking. I'm moving on to the month of July 2019. Those are the pictures that I'm going to be moving on to next. How far behind are you guys? Leave me a comment below. Also give this video a thumbs up like and click subscribe so you can see more great scrapbook process videos. Got lots of design team stuff coming up, other process videos and layouts and whatever in the works. So I hope you'll stick around. See you next time. Happy scrapping.